looking at pictures, you can really open your eyes. So my iCloud storage was full. I have that 200 gigabyte plan, and 140 gigabytes were photos. So I started clearing them off. And some of the pictures I saw from I guess it was about a year ago, August last year. Wow, I was chunky monkey. My brother-in-law was in town, and he loves to spoil people with food and good wine. And we were I was trying to keep up with how much he could eat. So, man, the food was so good. My sister was cooking. Man, she's phenomenal cook. And my brother-in-law is Korean, half Korean, and he introduced us to Korean barbecue. And oh man, I could not get enough of that stuff. So they came in town to stay with my parents for COVID. And I was over there a lot of times. I have my kids for about half the summer. And so 2 of my kids and her oldest son are just best friends. So we just hung out all summer. And I take a bunch of pictures of my kids. I don't really take too many of me. Maybe it's just the angle of the picture, but like my face is all swollen. Like, I don't know, I look pretty good now, but I mean, it was just like swollen and like this double chin. You know, maybe it was like one of these pictures. But yeah, the camera is up right now, so it kind of stretches this out. It kind of hides the double chin a little bit. But my weight had crept back up to like 190. It just kept going up and up and up. Topped out about 190, where usually in my life when I was working out a lot and I had a lot more muscle, I was hovering around 180. And back in summer of 2017, I was 106 pounds, fully clothed with boots and jeans and soaking wet. Back in college, I'd swollen up to like 220 pounds. I was working out a lot, but I was drinking a lot. And so, yeah, I had some muscle, but man, I had a whole bunch of fat too. And the drinking just puts that weight on you. So, anyway, 220 is the heaviest I've ever been. 160, I don't know what my weight was, you know, like in the bear, but you know, I don't know, it's close, 5-10 pounds, I don't know, but I know I hadn't really been out much because anyway, back then, like summer of 2017, I ran into some people that I hadn't seen in a while that I used to play tennis with back like 10 years before. And so like when I was 27, I played tennis with them. And they're like, man, you are so skinny. And people started running into more and more people. You are so skinny, you are so skinny. And I weighed myself. And, you know, when I was at one of their houses, and I was like 160 pounds, like fully dressed. So my weight fluctuates. And you know, my weight fluctuates usually based on drinking. Usually alcohol just puts weight on me. It doesn't matter if I'm drinking beer or wine. Last summer I was just drinking wine, but you know, I wasn't drinking a lot. But and I was playing a lot with the kids. Like we were outside every day, just playing all day long. During, you know, that half of the summer when I had them. And I think I was playing tennis. And but I just kind of shot up to like 190. So I'm thinking, 'cause, you know, I was going through a lot. The divorce had just been finalized, I don't know, like 6 months before, in February. Still fighting with my ex-wife. COVID hit, and then at the end of June, the company I was working with let me go. And so I was trying to cope with all that, you know, and so I'd started coping by just watching TV, you know, turning off, just numbing out my mind. I just needed, when my kids were around, yeah, we were playing all the times because my kids are just my world. Yeah, I just love them so much. There's something about kids, you know, their innocence, their excitement about the day, I think all kids are like that at a young age. You know, watching kids run around the playground and stuff whenever I take my kids, and they're all just having fun and making up games, and you know, they're not stressed, they're not worried about this whole political division craziness that's going on, the racial stuff like the media is promoting it. Like, they're not worried about that, you know. And I live in a predominantly black area, and it, you know, all the kids just love each other, and so we're not born with this racial division thing. I think it's absurd that it has gotten so far. And we've come so far in our country. And like, the way I see it, the media is just promoting this race division because it's politically motivated, and they're just trying to make a stance instead of pointing out the truth. Like, nobody's ever a fan of anybody getting killed. And it's always a sad thing. But this police, like, brutality thing, I mean, I was looking at the numbers. The CDC reports all the deaths every year, and the causes, if they're unintentional or intentional, like if they were a heart attack, or if it was somebody was shot. So I was looking at those records yesterday, and I was heartbroken that in most demographics, the number one intentional cause of death is suicide. It's 80% suicide and 20% homicide. Like, so many people are killing themselves. And I'm just shocked by it. Except for one demographic, like the black demographic. Its homicide is 80%, maybe 70%. And then suicide was like 30%. And I need to go actually see the number. Maybe the suicide number is pretty consistent across all demographics, but maybe just black homicide is just so much higher. And with the homicide, they had it divided out. They had like homicide as one number, and then they had legal what did they call it? Had some name for it, but it was basically police caused deaths. Like I say, homicide, majority black on black. Homicide was 70-80% of the intentional deaths. And police involvement homicide was 0.9 of 1% of the intentional deaths. Shouldn't we be focusing on the homicides? Why are black people killing each other? What? At every demographic. As the CDC, it's like the records and data coming out the ears, but why in the world the only demographic I mean, I'm not saying they should be committing suicide. That's a horrible thing in itself that got me started looking at this, that I so want to help fix. And that's part of my mission I'm working on, is show people that they're loved and accepted, and there is a future for them, that they do have a purpose for living. I'm trying to introduce those people that are hopeless with people who have survived that same exact situation and come out better on the other end. Why in the world are black people killing each other? I mean, is it all gangs? I don't know. I don't know. But it's messed up, you know? So, anyway, I guess this video is going to get cut up because I started off talking about exercise and weight gain. I'm just long-winded and rambled, I guess. I don't know how this turned into a 17-minute video. So anyway, I'm going to start working out again. And just doing home-based stuff. So I'm going to start working out again, doing home-based stuff. I like this app called 8Fit. I guess I really liked it when I was doing it a few years ago. I tried it a few months ago, and they just keep pushing this pro subscription thing, and it's super annoying. So maybe I'll look at something else. But anyway, I want to kind of share my journey with you. So I want to share my journey with you, and maybe you want to join in. Yeah, maybe it can be something that we all kind of check in with each other. Working out, showing where we're starting at, you know, body shots and weights and what your benchmark is. Where are you starting out? You know, how fast can you run a mile? How many push-ups can you do? How many sit-ups can you do? You know, it's got to be in like a certain amount of time. Like, how many push-ups can you do in 20 seconds? So we get the benchmark, the place where we're starting, and we grow from there. Yeah, I share my story. You can share your story, your data, your weights, your benchmark. you can do some videos and send them in. I think that would be awesome. A little support community. Hopefully everybody isn't as long-winded and rambling as me. 20 minutes to do this. I've been recording for a couple days and I really, really like it. And I haven't posted anything yet. So I don't know what kind of reaction or anything it'll get. But I dig this thing. I like sharing my story, sharing my thoughts. It's really helped me. You know, like just the thought of helping somebody else with my thoughts is making me excited. It's making me happy. So hopefully this stuff can help you. If it doesn't, you know, let me know, I guess. You don't have to watch. I'm just sharing what I'm doing in the hopes that it might help one person. So, anyway, I'll stay in touch, let you know what's going on. And I guess I'm gonna have like a bunch of different channels. I watched a few videos about being a YouTuber and stuff, and I have some questions like, do I need to have separate accounts for, if I do like if I share my fitness experience and then I share my tennis experience? Well, it's kind of same, but it's different skills and techniques and stuff, but it crosses over. Then my woodworking stuff, I like building stuff with wood and making bowls and stuff like that. And I like being out in the woods and like primitive, like camping and stuff. And most people I see, as far as I know, they just have like one channel. But I don't really know why I wouldn't just share everything that I do, like all my interests. Yeah, I think a lot of people that have more than one interest, but does it have to be divided up? So somebody might just subscribe to one channel, one interest. They don't have my interest in tennis, but they might have my interest in woodworking, or they might not like might not be a fan of Jesus and his concepts and teachings, but they like being out in the woods and having campfires and building little shelters and huts. Some variation like that. So Yeah, I did watch this one guy. He was super, super interesting. And I was watching him about magnets because there are a few things that just kind of get my mind really, really running. You know, like kind of gets my imagination going, wondering where could this stuff go? How could this stuff be applied? What can we do if we really understood these subjects, these topics, these I don't know, these things? What could we do with that understanding? What kind of technology could we have? Like magnets. Magnets are amazing things. We use them to hold pictures under our refrigerator. But there's got to be more that can be done, you know? I mean, it's great we can do that, but you know, it feels kind of like we're limiting its potential. You know, like whatever, Michael Jordan could have been, you know, he could be the towel boy or whatever those guys are called. But it's not really reaching or using him for his full potential, you know. So two of my things, you know, magnets and then clouds. Clouds are fascinating. Maybe it's my ignorance about clouds and about magnets that it's like um, makes me think there's more to them, but I like to research stuff, and the research I've done, it's seems like the scientists like the answers they give. It's like they haven't been fully explored. So it would be really, really cool to understand magnets, understand clouds. I mean, clouds is like it's like an ocean. It's like 100 million tons of water or something. You know, when it rains, like how much does that water weigh when it hits the ground? Like 1 gallon of water weighs 10 pounds or whatever. And we've been having a lot of rain, and so how much weight fell out of the sky? Okay, so maybe you can calculate how many gallons and how much that weighs, but how in the world, how does God make that weight float? We're not worried about clouds just crashing down on us. But we have enormous amounts of weight floating over our head. It's floating. The wind blows and it goes to another area. It's like having a cruise ship floating in the sky. Without gasoline, without anything. Like, then how does all that water get up there? There are no places on the planet where water is boiling. Like, that's the only way we know to turn water into vapor, boil it. Well, am right now, it hadn't gotten over 90 degrees this summer yet. Sure, it might get just over 100 degrees, maybe even 110. It's nowhere near 200. Nowhere near the temperature of water boiling. Maybe there's another way it gets up there. Fog. Fog's like a little cloud. We can kind of walk through, we can breathe it. Maybe it picks up water and takes it up. So how does water turn into vapor in the cold? I don't know. Is this the way it usually goes with people? Yeah, like starting to record themselves. Is it just ramble, ramble, ramble? Is it like floodgates just like open and just everything comes out? I've seen a lot of YouTubers, like maybe they've been doing it for a while and they're just kind of starving for ideas for content. They're just redoing stuff or just trying to come up like, well, I'm gonna show you a new way how to build a table. It's like, they're not building that table for themselves. They're not doing it. They're just doing it to make a video. I mean, they're using it to teach somebody how to do something, but I don't know, in my mind, it's like, shouldn't you film something that you're just doing anyway? Take a camera along and fill somebody in on the steps, like while you're doing it. I don't know, I'm new at this. So, I don't know, that's my idea. That's how I'm gonna go about this. Take you along for all my journeys. Oh yeah. So, I was talking about that guy of having different channels, or just like one channels with just random different things that I'm interested in. This guy, he was really, really interesting. He seemed to know a lot about magnets. He said what he said with authority, so I assume he knew what he meant. He knew what he was talking about. So that was really interesting. And then he was also into cameras, and I don't know, this is super long time ago. Might have been 5, maybe 10 years, probably not that long ago. But he would mix in. Some things were magnets, some things were cameras. He would review all these cameras. I guess he was a photographer, something. I'm not into cameras like that. I'm not a photographer. I like pictures. I like unusual perspectives. I like unique views on things, landscapes and nature and stuff like that. But I didn't care about his camera reviews. It just wasn't my thing. So since I couldn't easily find magnet videos at that time, I don't know, I stopped watching him, I think. Yeah, I stopped watching him. I don't even know if I searched for anybody else who was doing magnet videos, providing information on magnets, but probably not a high demand search term. So maybe nobody picked it up. But I stopped watching this guy because it wasn't just there. It wasn't super easy to stay on topic with him, on the topic I wanted with him. So I have like a dozen different things that I like to be involved with or do, or have a bunch of different hobbies. So I'm going to try to figure out the best way to sort them. That would make it easy as possible for people to see what they want. So they can just let it autoplay. All right, so that's my idea how I'm gonna go about this. A lot of different channels. We'll see how it goes with editing and stuff. Because even if now I've been talking for 38 minutes, and then I have to watch it for 38 minutes, and then I have to edit it, and that takes 38 minutes. It's a lot of time used up in a day. You do a video a week? On each of those different subjects? Like if it takes an hour and a half. Seems like that would be short. Let's say if it takes 2 hours for one video, because I'm still talking. So let's say if it takes 2 hours for one video, from what some of these YouTubers are saying, that's still not enough time. Well, let's just say it, 2 hours for one video. And I have multiple different things I like to do, like my morning talk. I love doing that. That is fun. Talking about my quiet time, my Bible reading, my thoughts, my concerns. So that for 2 hours. Then I have my workout. So that's 2 hours. Then I have tennis. Let's call that 2 hours. And I have, say, wood turning. Can I do wood turning? It's 2 hours. I do like woodworking, like building. Who knows, maybe wood turning and wood building would be the same. Let's call it different. Getting tired just thinking about this. I do united under God, like church, community, country, united. I do rabbits. Say if I do websites. So I do something with my kids. You know, like kids crafts and kids adventures and kids play and stuff like that. What would be number 10? I don't know. Sure, there would be something else. You know, like I've always wanted to make lamps. So I don't know why lamps are something to me. But I like lamps. I love like repurposing stuff, like recycling and upcycling or whatever. I don't know, maybe lamps upcycling. Something there. Like recycling, upcycling, lamps, woodworking, wood turning. And those are 4 things that are kind of sort of something related, different. I mean, it's 10, this 20 hours, like minimum, a week. That would be awesome. That would be so cool. So let's try. Let's. Why not, you know? Even if it's like 5 hours, it's like 50 hours a week. I'm down with that. So, well, cool. Thanks for thanks for the help. I'm done deciding about this stuff. So, if I can help you out in any way, let me know. I hope you have a fantastic day. God bless.